Well, Dave, last Saturday was arguably as angry as we've seen you really during your time as county manager. What's been the reaction this week since then?
I don't listen. I know what I'm going to get from all of us. In fairness, and it was a poor performance. We went away from our minimum standards, if you like, in terms of what I expect from us and what we expect from each other. These are, I suppose, shared beliefs, shared values, shared philosophies about how we go about things. We went away from that. So I didn't expect the reaction in any way. I expected us to be back to normal, and we have been that. Like I say, this game couldn't have come quick enough for me, because you look at, I suppose, the nature of the month. Listen, we had a brilliant February. We picked up more points than any other team in the league, and if we do that through March, then we'll be in a good place. But we let ourselves down in terms of, like I say, the things that we ask of each other, and that then puts the results at risk. And I wouldn't have been, even if we won the game, again, it is about getting results, but I'd have been displeased with how we went about it. If we'd have come away with a 0-0 in what was a poor game, then maybe we'd have been a little bit less angry. But again, we gave warnings, and you can sense things, and the disappointing thing is that on the pitch they didn't sense it, and ultimately the little run that we were on has ended, and we have to start a new one tomorrow now.
And you touched on it there. Obviously, you didn't want to discuss it really last week, but it was still a really good month from your 5 wins from 6, and that has given you that platform now to challenge going into these final 13 games.
It definitely has, but we'll always go into games and want to come out of games with no regrets. And like I say, that we've certainly the last 2 or 3 months, even beyond that, to be fair, probably the last 4 months, there's been very, very few regrets, if any, in terms of the performances we've had, even when we've lost games. Whereas I think from Saturday there would have been some regrets. I've always said about us taking care of our business and then looking what happens elsewhere. I think you look at what's happened in the last sort of 3-4 weeks. All of a sudden it was looking like there was maybe 3rd place up for grabs. Stevenage have had a little bit of a sticky run, got a good result on Tuesday night, but it looks a lot tighter, and it looks a lot more open. That's second down to probably 13th or 14th now, rather than 3rd as it was. So like I say, there's a big opportunity. What we have to do is put together, like I say, a run that like we did in February through March and into April. If we can do, as you say, we're in a good place, but the games come thick and fast, and the tough games alongside that as well.
Yeah, 6 games in March, 4 of them at Edgeley Park as well, so this does feel like a really important period now.
They're all important, but like, as I said to you on Saturday after the game, your home form is always going to be crucial. But on the flip side of that, like I said, you split the last 16 games that we had. If we won all our 8 home games and lost all the 8 away games, we might not even finish in the playoff position. So they go hand in hand, if you like. You have to do different things potentially away from home, but you have to be adaptable regardless of opposition or where you're playing. As you say, we play 4 games in March at home, and certainly towards the back end of the month, games against teams that are sort of in and around where we are, so they have potential significance. But again, ultimately, this next week for us becomes massive. Obviously, Saturday, Tuesday home game, and then going away to Colchester. So our sole focus is on tomorrow, and once that's out of the way, we can then move towards Gillingham on Tuesday.
You hinted last Saturday that you would feel justified if you chose to make changes for this game after the Barrow performances. How many changes could we potentially see? Presumably there's a bit of a balance that has to be struck there. Yeah, of course there's a balance. We have, like I say, we've a strong squad, and we've got to look at things. And again, straight away after things don't go in your favour, or in terms of how performances might have gone, you have to look at things. You have to look at again, team selection. You have to look at physical data. Was that one game too far for some players? There's lots of different things to look at. What we have to be is, I suppose, fair in a way that the strength of our squad is used. So the players who are maybe been on the periphery for the past sort of 5 or 6 games ultimately feel that they're close to it, but also fair in the fact that if people don't have good games, that they're not sort of het up by the fact that one bad game means that they're not in the team. Like I say, we'll pick a team tomorrow that we think can go and win the game, and probably what it does do is make us have a little bit of a look in terms of where and what we do tomorrow with certain players and certain individuals, where that leaves them for Tuesday, because these games, especially with a quick turnaround, do sort of go hand in hand. But like I said, the team we put out tomorrow will be one that we think can go and win the game.
You've had Fraser back on the bench for the last couple of games. We've seen Paddy and Sars in training this week as well. That's 3 really big players for you coming back at a crucial time now.
Massive, yeah. And like I say, tomorrow all at our disposal if and when we sort of need them. In a strange way, Paddy probably a little bit behind Sars and Fraser in the fact that he's not had as many grass sessions, but on the flip side of that, he's only been out for sort of a couple of weeks, whereas those two have been out for closer to 6 weeks. So they're massively important players for us. We're getting to a point now, take Maka, who's obviously a season injury, and Barrow out of it, that we've got everyone back on the grass and training, which is a great position to be in. And when you do have those numbers and you can work during the week, it really shows the quality that we have. And that will be important between now and the end of the season if we want to get where we want to finish.
And just looking at Doncaster, I mean, they've probably been the definition of inconsistent this season. 14 wins, 14 defeats. Does that make it difficult to know what to expect, or do you have a pretty good idea?
Not really. I think consistency can come in different ways. Yes, they've been inconsistent in terms of results, if you like, but they've been pretty consistent in terms of team selection and shape, and they obviously had a change midway through the season with manager moving on, new manager comes in with slightly different ideas, but the shape in terms of their team has pretty much remained the same. They'll have had change in personnel like we have, but we know, like I say, from our perspective, it's about us getting back to us, and if we do that, like I say, on any given day, we're more than a match for any team in this league. But we need to go and show that, something like I say that we didn't do on Saturday, but we get an opportunity to put that right tomorrow.
And just finally, I know we talk about it a lot, but it is another home sellout tomorrow, and I suppose we're at the point now where it almost gets taken for granted because it's just the norm now, but it's still so impressive. Yeah,
it is. Like I say, it has become the norm. I've said that in my programme notes, and it never ever is it lost on certainly me or the players in terms of the support that we receive. I think, like I say, the club's moved on an awful lot in a really short period of time, and thankfully the stuff on the pitch is mirroring things that are going off the pitch. That's being backed up by people turning out and giving up their money to support their team, and like I say, take last Saturday out of it. I would hope that they've got a team out there that they can resonate with and really associate themselves with, because every single player we've got is doing our best to achieve something for everybody. So, like I say, the thanks to them. I know that they'll really get behind us, give us their backing, and they'll be massively important, regardless of what happens between now and the end of the season in terms of us wanting and hoping to achieve anything.
All the best for tomorrow, Dave. Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, Liam. Thank you.